We are back after DRX evens out the match, taking the game in game number 2. So, what's your take on the draft? Well, DRX went very unexpected, at the same time very expectable comp. You know, Pyosik finally got his signature pick. His ID literally means mark, the kindred mark in Korean. Now he got to play it on LCK. So T1 went into Sinjao and also other picks, but DRX was so powerful. They capitalized on the fact that they are on the red side. So they blind picked Kindred, however, throughout Infade and also other macros, they actually forced Sinjao's jungle pathing, so they were really going smart in the early phase. And also, Echo took teleport to support Kindred and also give a lot of pressure during the laning phase. So, since Victor did not have a lot of lane priority, well, actually Sinjao had to back up mid lane. However, this is not what really happened in game. Well, actually Faker was not losing lane in level 1. However, just DRX was really the one going so aggressively in the early phase to boost Kindred's power spike in the early phase. So they kind of forced Sinjao's jungle path, but they were actually able to proactively pull out some of the plays in the mid phase. DRX managed to make the best out of their macro in the early phase, but at the same time, they were really good at team fights. So this fight was going back and forth, but at the same time, well, actually Orange Slam lands on to Keria, but he absorbed the following knockup with the stopwatch. So Seth was still on top lane, so there was no reason for T1 to keep fighting, but none of the players are actually down, so DRX earned so many time for Doran to come for a backup. Pyosik also focused on Rakan using Flash to finish and activated ult to survive. So T1 actually opened teamfight when Seth was so far away. However, DRX was really good at fighting back. Because we had such a hot, you know, full of game. We had the Infernal Rift here. And here comes another team fight. DRX pulled off really well. So well, actually, Echo was a little bit isolated, looking for the flank angle, and also Theft got engaged on, and that's how the team fight started. So he got erased immediately. However, Doran also managed to find Zaya in the very back line as well. So at this point, DRX players were already winning, and also they knew Echo was in the back, coming for a backup fight. So they really wanted to end the fight really fast. However, with the Kindred ultimate, Lamper's fight, he enabled the rest of the teammates to survive and have a high sustainability throughout the team fights. So DRX players were on the chase for the remaining T1 players after the team fight. So we could see how Seth was pulling off such a great performance in that game as well. So the player of the game from DragonX will be Chobi on Echo. 304 score on KDA, and as always, Chobi was so good at farming in mid lane. One of his best ability throughout the league. Any single move Chobi makes actually puts a lot of pressure to the T1 player. Faker on Victor doesn't have any ability to dash out of Echo's zones, and also Echo was so flexible, had a lot of flexibility moving all around the map. He was really strong in the side lane push and also team fights. Also, the rest of the DRX players were really good when Echo was looking for a flank angle or when Chobi was doing his job on the side lanes. And also, Pyosik would be really happy with the first Kindred win on his first Kindred match. So, Chobi only missed 2 votes out of 12. And once again, Chobi managed to carry the teammates today. So let's move on to the decider game of tonight.
Thank you very much, Ji-sun, for the translation. And once again, I'm a little bit off on my own. But we had a discussion. We came to an agreement. You know, like, it's understandable. Yeah, shut up. All right, let's move on. It is game number 3 time between DragonX and T1. Last time, we're on these sides of the rift. It was T1 that were able to take it. They utilized red side counterpick very well, but there is no way in heck that they're going to be able to get a last pick Soraka.
Watch T1 not ban it, and they're like, yeah, they didn't ban it last time, and then DRX picks it.
Yeah, and then it's the same Soraka show that we're used to seeing.
Then it's a bad time. So,
well, it's a good time for you. You love yourself some Soraka.
I do love Soraka. She does purify.
Yeah.
The immoral acts that tend to occur inside of both gameplay and draft.
Well, 10 seconds to go. DRX still trying to make their first decision, and the Gragas is going to remain a staple ban. I like it against Cuz. His Gragas is fantastic. Aphelios is the first ban this time around.
Rek'Sai.
Okay, Rek'Sai being a ban means that something's going to have to slip.
Yumi, yep.
Zoe likely to be the last one again. Braum, remember, was the final ban on blue side for DragonX in game number 1. It was an odd decision, as the Yumi is immediately going to be followed by the Soraka ban, and looks like they've learned at least something.
Now, I mean, that's just so extremely bizarre when you're not willing to just pick Soraka on blue side. And given that she's going to be a mainstay in the meta for the next
probably should
4
be able
weeks,
to play
you
it.
shouldn't be showing a desire. Now, DRX will probably be one or actually, no, they won't, will they?
This is DRX. This is,
yeah,
these are the set boys.
Yeah, they don't like to, they're allergic to.
And now that Soraka's been banned, surely you can just first pick set very happily. But, psst, DragonX, you can also just first pick on. They are thinking about it for quite some time, though, as there's the Instalock set. Just took them a while to find him, I guess. As Kana is going to lock away the On. I'm going to ride it in now.
Okay.
Just going to ride it in.
You're wrong. They're going to take Mordekaiser because it makes no sense.
No, they're not. I wrote it in, and I was correct. There we go. I can't pick a player of the game, but I can certainly pick the first pick on red side for T1 this game.
Well,
Cuz, will he lock away a jungler, is the question. No, looks like the Misfortune On is once again going to be the pickup here, which is exactly what they did in game 1. And Zyra. Okay.
And Morgana.
Yep.
Here we go.
Come on. How is it taking you this long? Do they mix it up? Do they go for a Leona instead? No, they don't. They just go back to exactly the same thing. All right, there we go.
All right, now T1's going to mix it up a little bit. They're going to ban Kindred.
Yeah, and then Elise.
Then Elise.
Like in game number 1.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Can't take this long. You have the script in front of you. Like, you've done this before. We've been here before. It is looking very similar to game number 1. It's in fact exactly the same as game number 1, apart from the bans.
Okay, all right, Elise first.
All right, we're going to mix it up that way.
Slow down.
Okay. Answering ban is the LeBlanc to come out first against Faker. Faker's LeBlanc, always worth ban.
And now this should just be the Kindred.
Yeah.
As the final ban.
They're sticking to the script. Certainly Lee Sin would be another option. But the Kindred is what we did last time, so let's do it.
Now perhaps they end up banning... They could, I guess they could ban Jarvan.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan or Olaf are the picks here, but Olaf without a Soraka is going to be a very different beast.
Yes.
And if you pick the Olaf, then DragonX can pretty happily go into Lee Sin. As we've seen that be a matchup that our Korean players very much enjoy. Azir Banned away from Faker as well. Getting a little bit of attention. Seems like Chovy's pretty happy with Faker just locking away a Victor if he'd want to. In game number 1, it was Azir and Victor bans. This time around, it's LeBlanc and Victor. Chovy realizing that the Victor matchup isn't one that they really worry about, is now thinking about what they want to be locking in, and that is a Renekton. Oh my goodness. Do you know what's going to happen?
What?
Karthus.
Well, the Ornn is there with the Morgana, and that does incentivize some magic resistance, so honestly, if they do end up picking Karthus, I will be a little bit surprised.
Oh, they are 100% picking.
No, they're going to pick Talia. You already know it. Stop making this more complex than it needs to be.
No, it's Karthus.
Okay. Is that a 10-3? Okay, I thought that was about to be a 10-3 Akali. And it might be Ezreal mid. Yeah.
Oh, that would be super exciting.
Gonna be Cassiopeia. Very good against lots of short range. The Miasma can also ground the Ornn. Okay.
Ooh, Jigs. Keeping with the color coordination. Much better choice than the Cassio. I like it. Reds on browns, things like that.
Let's see if this is actually gonna end up being
Oh, it's Karthus.
a Karthus spot.
100%. Why it's taking them so long to find the Karthus spot?
You already know it's Karthus.
Oh, okay. That's a Nidalee instead. Cuz has saved games with his Nidalee in the past.
The Battle of the One Tricks is coming out. Originally, it was Cuz and Clid that were two of the famous Nidalee players, but Cuz also...
Just after Peanut, of course,
yeah.
who was the OG.
So we're going back to season 6,
Hotshot
season
GG.
7.
Hotshot GG was the original one-trick
Hotshot
Nidalee.
GG is...
Top lane?
Yeah, the original Nidalee, and then the iconic LeBlanc. He retired, actually, as the best LeBlanc in the world.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Was that before Faker was a player?
Oh, no.
No.
He dethroned it from him. What are you talking about?
I don't quite remember. I mean, you work for Hotshot GG, don't you?
True.
Yeah. Any truers? Well,
hopefully we don't see any team getting CLG'd this game.
I feel like you should know more of Hotshot's history, to be honest.
Well, I came into League a little late.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point.
Season 4.
All right. Well, this is going to be your DragonX composition. Not having to deal with any Sorakas this time, but there is still an Ornn over the other side. And now Cuz's Nidalee is going to be running around the Rift, causing a ruckus. Whether that's going to be what gets T1 over the line in this game, we are yet to find out, but this is a much more balanced draft than what we saw in game number 1.
It's a lot more balanced.
Yeah, and this time it's Cuz that's on his signature pick.
Yeah.
So can Pyosik actually outplay Cuz, who's sitting on extreme comfort right now?
We'll have to see. And like you said, it is a lot more balanced. There's still a lot of scaling. Very peculiar. This Nidalee, there's not actually like a lot of reason to have it in this spot. This is really just pure player comfort.
Yeah. Not a lot of poke necessarily, which is what you pair Nidalee with. But it is poke and engage. So you see a spear land, and it's non-committal, but then Faker can blow the horn, and then the Nidalee can dive in and try and assassinate, right? And then he can use the horn for multiple different things, namely disengage or just continued engage.
If you asked me to tell you who I think won draft, I would say DragonX, just because this Nidalee is so out of place in this draft, because can't reliably jump onto Set, can't reliably jump onto Ziggs, ends up having worse poke than Ziggs because of the way that Nidalee tends to itemize in the current meta. And the isolated 1v1,
Okay.
it's still pretty fine for DragonX, and then obviously the bottom lane,
Where is Pyosik?
T1 has an edge.
Are we trying to answer this invade? They're so far out of Fog of War. You can see that they are skirting around. I believe they know that that ward is there. Scaria gets a cheeky one in. Now T1 walking over Vision. That's a great two-man knocker. And they're getting the red buff involved. None of these spears have landed. Cuz has already gone through a lot of his mana.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah.
If you're a T1 fan, I don't know what they're doing, but you can see Faker missing a lot of CS, and now Carry is here. Cuz is...
Yeah, Grand Entrance, remember, was taken as there's the Ignite. Oh, the flash was answered so beautifully, but they have to get this kill done. They do it. And now T1's bottom lane has to head for the hills as Chovy had already had that wave shoved in. Perfect planning from DRX.
And Chovy just insta-shoving the waves because he zigs. And now Cuz is going to be light years behind. And when you consider that, again, the Nidalee very out of place. She doesn't have a purpose in this team composition. You want to talk about an AP champion that synergizes with Ornn and Renekton, you're thinking Taliyah, especially because of how much Taliyah scales compared to Nidalee.
I mean, the reason why Nidalee was picked here was obviously to make Pyosik irrelevant. That was the plan.
Well,
but it just hasn't happened, right? Like, you still have to play it effectively.
I don't know what he was thinking here.
The answer from Carrier was really beautiful with that Grand Entrance positioning.
His bot lane and his mid lane are both behind in priority. And there's no universe where Lee Sin would just ever allow that to become a smite fight. I believe Def just lost the cannon. And so I feel like that's a go next fast, but I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, Deft right now is currently sitting at 11 CS in the lead after the first couple of waves, which isn't too bad. They'll crash this one. I believe Def might go for that cheetah recall. He's been learning. Might look for that cull. We did see it in his inventory earlier on.
I think they're going to go and get Scuttlecraft. He's actually not doing anything, so just a pretty big waste of time. A little bit slow. Never mind, they're going to move over. They're going to get the Scuttle Crab on the right-hand side and then come back to a favorable lane. Cuz is so far behind.
Yeah, only level 2, as they do grab that Rift Scuttler.
And it's saying that the last time Nidalee was picked was 600 days ago. But no, we saw a Nidalee.
That was at Rift Rivals.
No.
So in the LCK, it's been 600 days since Nidalee, but Cuz did play it for DragonX at Rift Rivals in 2019.
No, I was casting the game, and I wasn't at Rift Rivals.
Hey, that's true.
That stat's wrong. I was casting his Nidalee game because I was saying about how risky it was. I think I was with you.
Oh, so maybe so this is regular season LCK maybe? But that was in the World's Gauntlet?
Stat.
That was the World's Gauntlet that he played it, didn't he?
That's in the LCK.
That's what I would have thought as well.
That didn't say regular season. That stat's wrong. See, I just channeled my inner Papa Smithy.
Yeah.
Had to pull that one out.
Well, there you go.
There you
Nailed
go.
it. We'll make a puffer review yet. Don't you worry.
I believe that it was actually also played on red side. Because I remember seeing a javelin spear out of the brush near top lane. That's all that my memory is. Yeah.
We're getting there. I believe you. I trust you. Don't worry. It's Faker losing a little bit in this mid-game. Wants to get towards Abyssal Mask as early as possible. And currently is taking a fair bit of poke before a Null Magic Mantle or anything has been picked up. You can see Chovy electing for double Doran's Ring to try and make this lane as comfortable as possible for him. We'll have that lost chapter built up relatively soon. Gonna get face broken as Doran's pretty happy in this lane. One of the first times we've seen Set in a straight-up matchup.
Yeah.
Quite some time.
The Renekton can actually do stuff against Set with his Slice and Dice against the Haymaker.
Those minions being a little bit frustrating here for Canna. Couldn't quite get
and
to his
yet again, though,
Predator.
All that we see happening is the laners are waiting to lose.
Well, now Pyosik is over the wall. He will need to invest in control work to get over here. That means that he does know exactly where Cuz is, meaning the rest of the lanes will be able to play with reckless abandon. Doran finds a Haymaker. He just wants to clear out this minion wave by the looks.
This makes him susceptible here to an all-in by Kana, though.
Yeah, this is very risky. Oh, Doran, you need to... Yeah, he is going to back away now. Just made sure he got all of the experience by the looks of things.
Kana has teleport available, has the lane in a really good spot. Looks like he's going to back up, possibly just recall once he's guaranteed the freeze. Yep.
Yep, so the Renekton's in a good spot.
Yeah, he'll teleport right back onto the wave. He'll maintain it. And then Nidalee could just do Raptor Camp and then try to go back to top lane immediately. Doesn't actually TP onto the wave.
Interesting, not going to be able to hold that position as Cuz walks over a ward, and once again, the Nidalee has been spotted. Effort and Teddy starting to play a little bit more aggressively here in this lane. 9 CS down right now. BF Sword was able to be purchased there by Deft on his first recall, but same can be said for Teddy.
At this
a lot
point,
of these feathers and stars dotting the ground.
The problem is, though, is that just like in game number 2, and unfortunately similar to game number 1, T1, they're just waiting to die, and what I mean by that is all of their lanes, with the exception of Kana up here, is losing, as it currently stands. And because they have misaligned champions, Nidalee doesn't have a real Ornn item that she can end up purchasing. It's too expensive for her to try to get death cap, especially when she has such a stunted early game. Zanya's Hourglass isn't that ideal against DragonX.
And
so
otherwise it's like, what, Luden's focus?
Well, you can't even get Luden because you have Runic.
Yeah.
And so you don't have an Ornn item. And the Renekton is just a decaying champion. He falls off so hard and so quickly. I mean, he's going even right now, and so he's already falling off simply because he's going even.
Well, he's slicing, he's dicing, he's trying to get around this lane. Remember, Showstopper is available here, so look for Doran's positioning. If he's near a turret, there is a chance that he can turn around fights like this. As Pyoshik now thinking of taking a little jaunt towards the top side. Cloud Drake going to be taken here by T1, so Cuz able to get one on the board there, as the next one's going to be Infernal. We've got Mountain or Ocean as far as our souls this game. Both of them being decent choices for either team. Doran going to be building pretty tanky. Of course, Faker is going to be pretty tanky as well. He's currently down a lot of farm, but he's an Ornn. So you need to look at that with a little bit of a caveat.
And at this point, T1 continuing to just sort of idly farm everything. And I mean, likewise as well, DragonX isn't really doing anything with their jungler either. We're just actually playing Plants vs. Zombies or something as everyone's farming. The unfortunate thing for T1, though, is that DragonX laners are consistently winning.
That's the problem. So the handshake is one that you're much happier if you're a DragonX fan for seeing. As Deft and Carrier looking to take away another Rift Stubber. Trying to keep it CC'd as much as possible to maximize that damage. Deft can Blade Call again, but no, doesn't even need to. That's his second one. Still retains that 10 CS advantage. Plus that extra, what? 300 gold?
From Shuttlecraft?
Yeah, so 250 gold, sorry, from Double Scuttles. Very, very nice. This Carrier, Gleaming Quill to the face of Teddy. Bit of a tickle, but otherwise not too much. As 1100 gold is the approximate lead here for DragonX. And tick past 10.
Pyoshik coming down here now into bot lane.
All right, Featherstorm going to be traded with that bullet time as Pyoshik is in there and just places Shelly right in the middle of this lane. Cuz is waiting in the wings. Q goes over to the side, and I believe the Nidalee. Oh god, Carrier taking a lot of damage there.
Never mind, Def.
Yeah, plates do happen as Def, very late flash, but is able to do it. Chovy moving on down here as well, and T1 knows it. So we'll have to be scared of the Mega Inferno Bomb. Steady, the only man underneath this turret. Faker, when he gets down here, that's when DragonX need to start respecting. Because the Ornn can wreak havoc in the middle of a tower dive like that. Carrier does still get hit by that Dark Binding and is unable to clear out that ward. 2.5 minutes on the next Drake. Chovy sidestepping the spears. That is going to be the important part. Skill shots going wide on both sides, actually.
And it looks like they wanted to recall, but not today.
Yep, Carrier going to dive on in. Teddy with his black shield's going to stay alive, but Deft, he's being caught up. He's just going to try and take down Effort with him, but I don't think he can 1v3, my friend, and even holds onto his heel knowing that he was dead.
So right there, that's a very nice big tempo swing for T1 down there in bot lane. 2 minutes until the Infernal Dragon is coming up. Faker should be able to get to Abyssal Mask before then. Luden's Echo going to be completed by Chovy.
He should have that on his next back as well. currently with a pretty gigantic CS advantage. Faker just builds his Abyssal Mask. We're going to have a look at this one once again.
At how this is all transpiring. And Effort, he just flashes in there, and even without sight, knows, okay, you just went in. There's no way that they can end up living, because able to come down from the river, help out with this. They get the kill, and meanwhile, in mid lane, Chovy gets canceled. One ultimate.
Yeah, that was the flash.
Yeah.
Going on over. Faker eating Skittles on the ground. They look delicious.
Are you a Skittles or an M&M guy? M&M guy.
M&M.
I'm
probably more partial to M&Ms.
Which kind? Regular or peanuts?
Oh, I love peanut.
Yeah, peanut M&Ms, they are. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. That's the only right answer.
Yeah. Which you can't eat at all.
No, I can.
What? Why can you eat peanuts?
Peanuts are a legume. Okay.
What? All right.
Almonds,
so
walnuts, things like that. They're fruits. They contain a different protein.
Got it. And that's what you're allergic
to. That. Yes.
So you're like allergic to every nut other than peanuts, which is the most common nut allergy, actually.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
great?
kind of ironic.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like it too. Yeah.
It's cool. You just want to be different. You know, you want to stand out, and you did that with your allergy.
Thank you.
Which is very impressive.
You know, I was really trying.
Yeah, well, skill shots are going really wide if we pay our attention back to the video game at hand. DragonX still with a small lead, but otherwise, it's not a big deal. And there is an Infernal Dragon to be taken. Cuz is in position, and Chovy not going to get hit by that spear. Pyosik as well, avoiding one as Carrier just starts up the Drake. T1 with 4 members down here, top laners both with teleport. Are able to get in there. Pyosik, I don't think he's even going to go for a steal. They're just going to give this away. We're going for a Mountain Soul after this. If T1 can continue this Drake control, it's going to be huge. Especially
if they can pick up the Mountain Souls for the way that they end up itemizing. Because there, we see the Nidalee item, which is coming in. It's going to be the Athene's Unholy Grail. And so it's a very supportive kind of Nidalee. Faker's dead.
Yep, Pyosik should be able to find him here as no. Not going to lock down the kick.
This isn't.
As Pyosik does eventually grab it. Cuz might be able to answer it back though, as he's going to miss the spear. The minions in a frustrating position. Fairly comfortable kill, but a little bit of a mechanical misplay there by Pyosik.
A little bit slow on the trigger mechanically. And now wave is crashed in completely in mid lane. Chovy gonna end up recalling. Black Cleaver is gonna be the item of choice on both Set and on Lee Sin.
You'll stack it up a little bit faster there because both of them not super great at stacking that one.
Yeah. Faker just ends up dying. There's really no way out here if Pyosik and Chovy don't make any mistakes.
And it was almost closer than you'd like. That being said, Chovy continues to pummel these minion waves one after the other. 38 odd minions in the lead. Deft and Carrier doing Deft and Carrier things on the bottom side of the map with their 10 CS advantage still there, and have been able to finally take down the turret that did have the help of the Rift Herald this time around. So it's not like we're going to talk about smashing the lane or anything like that, because that was largely to do with Pyosik being there. Alright, Mega Inferno Bomb does fly in, but the rest of T1, the cavalry has arrived. And it looks like Shirley will defect from Shelly's alignment and allegiance, and will head over to the T1 side of the camp. We'll see where they do drop this particular Rift Herald.
Well, everyone just really continuing to scale up right now. Pyosik has actually fallen behind in XP. Almost has his Black Cleaver complete. He's going to be able to hit level 10 off that Scuttle Crab, unless Faker somehow steals it away.
Well, they might just try and go for a kill here as Bellows Breath does avoid the knock-up. Faker taking a lot of damage, but the rest of his team are going to come in. There's the Soul Shackles, great kick to get effort out of there. He wasn't fast enough on the Black Shield as Q's going to land, and now in goes the Showstopper, but Faker stops the show there with the Black Shield on top of him. I think maybe they expected that one to be on cooldown. It looks like Effort was diligent in holding onto it until something real did threaten his team.
And now there's 2 minutes until the Mountain Dragon's going to end up coming up. They did get the Scuttle Crab, but not going to be the end of the world. Also, Faker, this is the second time, I believe. Oh, hold on.
Deft is going to try and kill Effort. 1 versus 2. Mega Inferno Bomb. Great timing as Teddy has to flash. And DragonX just brute forcing the mid lane here.
Yeah.
4 members. The 5th Enduran is going to turn up in the flanking position.
And I believe they're going to stop the recall, yeah.
And also these turrets go down
doing.
so incredibly fast because the explosive charge is there. It only needs to get to 30% and then that turret is just dead. Thankfully, T1 are able to at least deal with that minion wave, and now Canna up towards the top side is able to at least claim some tempo back. But honestly, DragonX have really turned up the pressure this stage of the game and now transitioning towards the Crocodile.
Ooh. Goran.
Yeah, Facebreaker not going to find it. Slice enough to get the Crocodile far enough away.
And they're bringing Chovy up here into top lane just to try to raise this turret really quickly.
Feels like Deft has lost his job. He was the turret destroyer. And now we've got Chovy here.
Yeah, Demolitionist.
Yeah, with his satchel. Look at the satchel in position. Oh no, can they do enough damage to it? No, they can't. It's a little bit of a shame. As now it's satchelable. There we go. Oh,
okay.
Sometimes
you know
the bounces are just wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you can't blame Chovy for that. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Also, as I was mentioning earlier, it's really surprising Faker. This is twice in a row now that he's going for Iceborne Gauntlet on Ornn. And it's so surprising.
Perhaps likes the extra CC and damage or something.
Don't
instead
say the mana.
of the other stuff. Yeah, no, I'm not saying the mana.
Well, I'm not sure what Chovy's building. He had a blasting wand, and then he ended up picking up a needlessly large rod. So
he just wants flat AP.
Yeah, it does seem like he wants flat AP before this Mountain Drake. Perhaps he's viewing it as he has nothing else valuable that he could end up picking up, but
I don't mind it. I mean, Deathcap is going to be the biggest bang for your buck at this stage. As Doran has found Canna off to the side. It's a fight on 2 fronts at this stage. Thank goodness we can zoom out. The bouncing bombs are going everywhere. Hextech Minefield down as well as Kaz. Just basically eliminated with the feathers being recalled. And now DragonX looking for their first Drake. T1 desperately want to steal this one away to threaten Soul Point. But it looks like it might just be a team fight as Doran pulls back Canna. He's down to about half. As Deft staying in a decent position, but does get found. Now Pyoshik should be able just to lock down this dragon pretty easily.
And this is what we were talking about earlier, where Ziggs' poke is infinitely more reliable and problematic than Nidalee's.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't really matter that you have a Nidalee. It is so much harder for her to actually apply her poke, whereas Ziggs has 3 abilities that he can keep throwing out with the Luden's Echo, deal so much more damage.
And also, I mean, Nidalee's changed, right? She's not the same kind of poke champion that you'd talk about in, like, Season 4. Because that was when her spears just did ridiculous damage. And it was silly. Their hitbox was disgusting. And basically, you only needed that one ability to win the game. Talk to Rusty about it. He was a one-trick Nidalee mid player, and he was very, very good. Of course, Faker also a very, very good Nidalee mid player, but it's going back a very, very long time. But now, landing a Q is more like giving you an avenue to start a fight, right? It allows you to get that execute damage in there, marking up your targets, things like that. She's a very different champion than what she used to be. And so using her as a poke bot, especially when you have the accuracy that Cuz has been demonstrating thus far, isn't what you really want, as Deft will have to ult. Dark Binding, not exactly in the greatest of positions, but trading ult for ult there. Longer cooldown on the Featherstorm as opposed to the Ornhorn, as you can see. So now T1 might find themselves with an advantageous teamfight opportunity as Pyoshik just steals that one away with a smite. Not too bad at all. Salt's going to injury here because in a lot of these instances.
We have about 4 minutes left until the end of the game.
Okay. 25 minutes, is that the end?
Well, it's basically the end. Not quite the end, but it's really close.
Well, what's going to happen?
Well, there's going to be a teamfight, Atlas.
I mean, I've been telling you to stop reading the script. You know, come on the journey.
I can't help it.
But apparently, it's there, so you must read. Is that why you hate Morellonomicon so much? Because you couldn't help but read it? If it was ever in front of you?
I read it, I don't think I'd still be alive.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm glad you've never been near it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be having to rush you to the emergency room.
That's why Leandre's Torment is called Torment.
Yeah, well.
She got a hold of it once.
Yeah, just once. And
drove
even
her-
then, it was taken away from her.
Exactly.
Very
It
quickly.
drove her to madness.
Yeah.
Each
Wasn't
page.
enough. Yeah, it's madness first and then instant death.
Yeah.
Something first and then something else instantly. Doesn't make sense at all. But I hope you guys understood what I meant. As it's not exactly a gigantic gold advantage. T1 could still outplay themselves out of this. However, they need to be doing it uphill, which is not how they were able to win Game 1. And DragonX showed that even in Game 1 they had great moments, but in Game number 2 it felt like T1 didn't even have any avenue for victory because DragonX were just so consistently better in their team fighting.
And then this game again, pretty much the same. Just a lot of waiting right now, and Obsidian Cleaver was built for Kana up there in top lane. Molten Edge going to be completed soon, and then after that, it's going to be a while until Cuz and Morgana both respectively have their Zanya's Hourglass in order to be upgraded to Zanya's
Rolex.
Stasis.
Zanya's Rolex, absolutely.
Or no, Zanya's Paradox.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Why are you saying the real names? That's nowhere near as fun. That's not your
What do
shtick.
you want me to say?
That's not your
what do you want me to
shtick.
say?
You're the Aatrox guy. Come on. Do the fun names. As Deft, once again, has the Featherstorm available. Not exactly the best target for the Ornhorn, but does mean that now they're not going to have that for the next engagement. And that's why Faker is trying to find Goshin. Kicks Faker into Cuz, trying to get a little bit of damage there, but just trading ultimate cooldowns wherever they like, apparently.
And Ziggs just trying to dish out a lot of poke before this team fight. Both top laners have teleport available. Doran, I think he's trying to get level 15 to catch up to Kana. Still doesn't have it yet.
Field down so that Faker can't get towards this minion wave, but I believe he's not going to be too worried. And just, in fact, decides to go into his shop for a moment. Create himself some more items. Faker stepping quite far forward there as the bombs are actually doing a lot of damage. Faker doesn't have huge amounts of magic resist at this stage, and Chovy isn't the guy that's playing with all of that flat pan and investing money into that. It's just all straight numbers from this guy.
All right, and well, we're coming up on that 4-minute mark here, Atlas, as
DragonX looking to try and trade an inner turret and maybe inhibitor turret.
Inhibitor.
Well, like, they eat through these turrets so fast. Mega Inferno Bomb actually did a fair bit of damage there to that Drake. But as you can see, this is what DragonX were looking for. Trying to break open this map is now Faker looking for that flanking play. Featherstorm not available. This is the time to fight with Faker's ultimate now back up. But DragonX have bought themselves enough space. They won't be able to do that again, though, because Mountain Soul will be very important to T1 for weathering all of this poke.
Yeah, that was a very bizarre decision as well. I'm so surprised that they elected to do that.
It does give them a lot more control of this Baron pit, which is where DragonX want to be transitioning towards as far as fighting around. Chovy, intelligent move, decides instead of finishing off his hat, he's got his Void Staff, meaning that when that Death Cap does come in, it's going to be ludicrous amounts of damage.
Yeah.
But now at least he's able to poke down Faker a little bit more reliably. Now making his way towards topside, you can see Carrier is poking his head in towards this Baron pit to try and get that vision. And Doran's now set up shop towards the bottom side and misses a cannon creep. Not what you want, but sometimes reality is not exactly where you're intending life to go.
And honestly, they're just back to playing ping pong at this stage of the game. 3.5 minutes until Soul Point comes online for T1. And if they can end up getting that, they could have a pretty real chance at winning this game. They're down about 3,500, almost 4,000 gold. And when you consider that even though the ornaments are coming in, these aren't the best ornament items to end up having picked up.
We'll have them relatively soon, and of course Molten Edge is fantastic. The Abyssal Mask is certainly good, but yeah, you're right. And Cuz is taking a long time getting towards anything. And as you can see, Effort hasn't even put anything towards his Zhonya's at this stage. As Doran gonna find Canna here, finds the Haymaker, cancels a whole bunch of autos as Deft comes down. believe Doran probably wanted to get in front of Canna there, or bait out a slice and a dice. But unable to deliver a kill over to Deft. Because, of course, knowledge of Deft's positioning walking down that river was there. I believe Scuttle Vision available. No, just a ward in the river. I tell a lie. And now DragonX just looking to try and clear out some vision here in what is a pretty dark jungle that T1 should have control of themselves. Zombie wards and traps sort of everywhere here. Still, DragonX will just sweep on through. Lock this one down. Now, one thing that we haven't spoken about, I guess, since Chovy's last Ziggs game, being the only guy that plays Ziggs so far in the LCK, is Ziggs' ability to set up around a Baron. Because if you're taking it, and you've got Ziggs as a bouncer, I know he looks small, but he is very frustrating to deal with. Because the minefield is so powerful at creating zones of control. Finds the satchel charge there onto Effort. And look, this damage starts to stack up.
And T1, I mean, they're posturing around this Baron. They acknowledge that DragonX could try to shred through it very quickly. Keria trying to get a Demolish proc off onto that turret. Not able to.
Whoa, Deft just flashed into the Baron pit.
And they know that DragonX are trying to start this Faker with a flank. Deft doesn't have ult available.
We're teleporting into the pit. We're going for this 50-50, but no, there's the knock-up onto Cuz. We've locked down the Baron on DragonX's side, but at what cost is the question. Already two are dead as Keria is running away from Effort. He does go into Stasis. There's the bouncing bomb. And it looks like Chovy is the only man allowed to dress in purple this time around.
I don't know what to say, Atlas. That was one of the weirdest Barons that just started.
I mean, they did get the Baron.
They did get it, and Chovy does still have it. So when you consider the turrets going down, that's sort of evened out by the Baron. But obviously losing all of the members
and there's 30 seconds left on Mountain Soul.
Yes.
So everyone will be available. Doran has teleport. Chovy has teleport.
This is the 5-head play.
But they need to get into position to fight.
And get into position for the Mountain. They removed the Baron. Now they're going to win the Dragon and then win the game because the opponent is depleted on resources. So,
well, there we go. That might be it.
They're starting up the Baron. You see Keria, he can't really do anything. He's just looking for Cuz to lock him up, which is what he ends up doing. Faker has such a good angle.
And Deft actually, you know, he didn't actually have a chance to use a flash even if he had it available.
Yeah.
Because he was just knocked up and obliterated by the bullet time. As now DragonX, they've started up the Drake. But in comes the Ornn. Doran's going to get knocked up, but the Ornn's not actually going to get too much done with that call of the Forge God. And T1 are going to pull back to battle lines. Goshik not even near this Drake at the moment as Doran is keeping it relatively aggroed. As okay, over the wall goes Keria, but into the backline goes Canna, just obliterates Deft. Not a chance to do anything. Haymaker also not able to lock anyone down as the Mountain Drake went over to Pioshik, but the team fight is all T1. And they've come together in the clutch, and now they're ahead by about 1,000.
So they're ahead right now. Deft died with his ultimate up. Keria as well.
Yeah.
And it really does look like they're sort of falling apart, and I don't know what would be causing it. From the initial decision to trade the two mid-tier, the mid-tier 2 and the mid-tier 3 turret for the Mountain Drake, which has brought the game to Soul Point, to that random Baron decision. T1 are now back in the game, even though nothing happened. 4 kills occurred at the Baron. Now let's take a look at this team fight, where Pioshik manages to win the 50-50 as Keria was up there with Kana, and then Deft just gets flashed on by Kana and deleted immediately.
He obviously really didn't want to use his ult if it wasn't for a team fight. It just wasn't the right call. Teddy now 2-0 and 6, really out-carrying Deft in this game.
Well,
I don't know what it is, whether it's tilt or something else, but Deft doesn't feel like himself at this particular point in time. He had ult and stopwatch to try and avoid it, but it looks like the flash in from Canna was just too much.
And I don't really know what to think at this point. I would still say that DragonX are favored in a straight-up team fight, one that involves the Xayah not disappearing before everything commences.
Yep.
Death Cap also completed for Chovy. Should be Leandri's as the next item. He does have a Blasting Wand.
Yeah, Blasting Wand is in, so see whether that does turn towards the Burning Face. As Doran now looking for Canna. Superplex to start this one off as Def is going to do a lot of damage, but kickback on top of the Xayah is not necessarily what the Xayah wants. There's a teleport in from Faker. Def avoids that. And Canna is still alive here as Spooky Ghosts. Kyoshik now trying to play more of that peeling role as the set is dead, and Canna survived through all of it. The rest of his friends turning up on time.
So they end up actually trading Kanna's Guardian Angel for Doran's life.
Time. Massive damage there as in goes Faker, just tanking up the turret, not too worried about it, but maybe he should be as Black Shield does come in. Canna was in the wrong spot, so unable to actually protect his mid laner. Now no summoner spells available for Faker, does have the spellbook, but will not be able to teleport back. As some weird stuff is happening this game. I feel like both teams need to calm down just a little bit. So we have a look at this one once again.
You can see Doran sneaking his way in here onto Kanna, superplexing to start everything off. Dragon kick by Pyoshik to knock him back in. Def loses a lot of HP, respects the Ornn TP, and then T1 faster to collapse, even though Chovy and Carrier were both on the way. Faker ends up killing Doran. Does come again at the cost of the Guardian Angel.
The Mega Inferno Bomb was on cooldown as well. We do have that Zhonya's completed for Cuz. Now has turned it into the upgraded version. There's damage taken pretty high this game for our mid to top laners, but of course, Chovy taking a lot less than what Faker has been able to. And you can see Def's number is much higher than Teddy's.
And Baron coming up in 30 seconds.
There's
another one ult.
Yeah, they're looking for Chovy. Mega Inferno Bomb does come in, but there's the bullet time.
Oh,
just
they got him!
Gigantic damage. And Carrier dies as an afterthought there as well, as now Canna looking for the slice, looking for the dice. Meek going to come in, and Def eventually goes golden. But my god, the damage. The flash out, but there is nothing that he can do. Doran looking for 2 kills. Don't know whether he'll be able to find them as the kickback, as Teddy just immediately QSS's it, and will just continue shooting. T1 have turned it around. 13 kills to 3, and I believe most of those have happened in the last 10 minutes.
Kyoshik.
Yeah, Teddy
Oh, he got it with the Q.
Kyoshik's just going to die. Cuz is going to lock that one down, and despite the draft, despite everything, T1 turn it and take down the Nexus over DragonX, but it's one hell of a series, and I can't wait for round 2.
And I'm trying to think who to give MVP to. And if I could give it to Baron Nashor, I would. Oh man, is it? I'm trying to think of a lot of spots that happened in this game.
You know it's Teddy. Come on.
I'm gonna give it to Kanna.
All right.
I'm gonna give it to Kanna.
I guess he did make a Renekton work in a situation that he shouldn't.
The most bizarre series of events where everything was so disjointed. DragonX never once were all together. They ended up dying. Yeah. They just kept dying like flies over and over and over, and then there was the Baron throw.
I feel like there was a mental boom in there somewhere where Deft was just like taken out, and then something went wrong, and then the comms got messed up, because honestly it felt like a huge disconnect from what felt like DragonX being a cohesive unit. Even in the game that they lost, they were playing the heck out of it. It was very, very strange.
And this game can't leave you feeling very good if you're a fan of either team. On one hand, T1 does walk away victorious. On the other, it was 3 consistent games of laners not interacting with their jungler, losing laning phase.
Yeah.
And then T1 ended up winning game number 1, which was fantastic. And in this game, with the help of some insane mind control by Baron, managed to
Oh dear.
do a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what that call was. Flashing the wall was definitely an odd one. Might have been DragonX just saying like, look, this is a time where we've cleared out vision, and if we just do it, they've been playing this game so slow, we'll just be able to take it for free, but didn't turn out that way. And honestly, if T1 didn't know, then DragonX would have looked like geniuses, right? But as it turns out,
I'm fine.
it's not the case.
DragonX bans Soraka on blue. Sinners don't deserve to win.
Well, I mean, that is the case. And look, it was a great time to pick the Karthus. They picked the Nidalee instead. Things went horribly wrong at the beginning, but he landed a Q at the end of the game, and it worked.
Yeah, but she was a non-factor in this victory.
Yeah.
All around, she was just a non-factor. It could have been any jungle champion for the most part, and it still would have ended up winning. And so we just take a look at everything. MF already didn't have flash. This was a really nice engage by Effort. Cuz ends up coming down, picking up that assist. Oh, actually gets the kill.
Yeah.
I even cast to curse myself in the highlight. That was
maybe
really impressive.
Maybe that was the beginning of a bit of the death tilt. This was a slight misplay from Kyoshik, but no harm, no foul. They were still able to lock that one down. And this is the play that was so weird. Because Teddy over the wall gets a completely free position on a
no sense.
Basically perfect bullet time. Yeah, it was very weird. And then Chovy being the only one to survive means that the Baron means nothing. And T1 then grabbed tempo advantage in a game that they had no right to have it. And then in goes Canna, flashes in, and in the duration of that stun, Deft was dead.
They were just permanently so disjointed in all of these fights. Deft Carrier not using ultimates there, Pyoshik not using ultimates. Everything was just so wonky. And even right here, they don't actually have the ability to kill him, and then they posture and wait. Through Guardian Angel, Pyoshik, I have no idea what he's doing. Just running around in La La Land. And eventually Doran gets brought to his demise. Effort fails to add anything more value there. But Chovy, this was very akin to the other game where Chovy played Ziggs. And it looked like he was the only one who was aware of everything that was going on. And it just sort of looked like a very angry Hobbit champion walking around.
Yep.
Being grumpy.
God, the damage. Yeah, this was honestly just Teddy proving that he can out-carry Deft. His performance was fantastic. He was able to be that consistent force for this T1 squad. Canna playing some late-game Renekton better than most Renektons that we've seen. Faker once again on more of a tank rather than a carry. We know that Faker in 2019 was largely a carry player, but certainly showing that he's still a man with so many different facets to his kit. And that is going to be that Nexus falling down once again in the highlights. A bit split on the MVPs this time around, but we got a little bit of a spoiler. We'll let you guys figure it out. As yeah, Chovy was trying his little heart out.
I wanna see if I was the swinger again.
Maybe you were.
That's what I want to know here. So the reason that I gave it to Kana was because he found his way onto Deft in that one team fight really decisively, and he also made it so that the Renekton actually looked relatively fluid. He did pretty good inside of the laning phase, even though he was decaying, in the sense that he was going even against the set, the team composition, getting out-scaled, even though there's the ornaments. It's just so disjointed. And so he managed to remain relevant despite all of that, and came up with some really nice combos and engages inside a lot of the fights. So thought that Kana actually managed to do a lot.
Yeah, he certainly turned around what was a difficult early game for the team as well, and he was crucial in late game fights as Renekton, which is something that you're never used to talking about. So if he is able to lock down that player of the game vote, certainly no harm, no foul there. I thought Teddy's positioning throughout the entire late game was basically flawless. There didn't seem like there was any access to the back line. Yes, it is, indeed. I believe we're going to be seeing him tomorrow, but not yet today. But yeah, man, I really did feel like momentum was in DragonX's favor, and then something went wrong. Something snapped.
Something just...
And boom goes the dynamite sometimes, and they can't let that happen against Genji.
Well,
But there we go. It will be Canna picking up that player of the game for his top lane performance. It was La Swinger. You were that swing vote there, LS.
there we go.
Able to send him over the line, 5 out of 12.
Baron Nashor. What a
Baker
hero.
also picking up 4 of the votes as well. So, and there he is. That was the play, honestly, that felt like it broke DragonX.
And it just was Ziggs constantly running around, throwing bombs, trying to poke, but unable to really do anything.
And maybe now DragonX will stop with the set priority. Maybe
Yeah.
that's going to discontinue.
Well, certainly not why they lost this game, but they didn't really manage to do anything with it. And also, I mean, if you build Cleaver on set, you probably deserve to lose on him. So
True,
just
but
throwing that one out there too.
if they had an Ornn instead of a set, you could imagine that things
They
would
could've-
probably feel a
They
little
could
bit
have
better.
B1 if you don't B1 Soraka or B1 Ornn.
Yeah, you're out of the LS. That's onto the naughty list. That's one of the things that gets you onto that naughty list, isn't it?
I mean, both of those picks are literally sanctuaries.
Well, that's what your name stands for. Pretty sure. Literally a sanctuary. As we are going to go over to the player of the game
네,
interview.
승승장구하고 있던 DRX를
So let's throw it over to
잡아낸
Ji-sun for some
T1입니다.
translation.
페이커 선수 칸나 선수한테 할게요.
This is
안녕하세요.
T1 translation, and T1 cut another win streak. This time it was DRX, and you guys took down the solid first place team, but it was not easy. How are you feeling right now? DRX was on a huge win streak, so we were a bit worried about this match, but now we're on the first place, so I'm really happy. You guys were so focused on game till the last minute. And Kana, it's your first POG, and you are the starting top laner in T1. How are you feeling? I'm really happy that I got the first POG, and I think I really outperformed in this game, so I'm really happy. So game number 1. Well, you did get the POG, but Kana, you are also doing a great performance. So tell us about the Soraka top. So we saw Soraka Yumi from Hana Life Esports series, so we highly evaluate that champion. So during our scrims and during our practice, we prepared Soraka and we were getting good results. So that's why we went with Soraka top lane. So I couldn't really tell, you only practiced it for a couple of days, and also this is your first Ornn game in your career. So you added another champion to your champion pool. So why was it today? So speaking of the Ornn pick, it's a top mid flex pick. So we really capitalized on really well in that flexibility in terms of champion selects, and we tried a lot of things. So I mean, I played a lot of things, so I actually didn't know this was my first Ornn game, but I'm really happy that I got this POG and a win on my first Ornn game. So let's take a look at the highlight on your Ornn play. So how did you manage your positioning and everything? So as soon as I landed my Q on a couple of players, I was really confident, so I just went right in. So Ornn, it's my confidence on that champion because Ornn is so tanky, so I wasn't afraid to go in against 4 players. So T1 and also DRX were keep trading Misfortune Morgana and Zaya Rakan in bot side. So why was that? Both comps are one of the best champions in the current meta, and also because a lot of teams are focusing on the team fight right now, so that's why we are seeing more and more MF Morgana and Zaya Rakan in the bot lane comp. And Kana, you played Renekton, and Cuz played Nidalee after 600 days. I, always trust Cuz, so I thought Nidalee was a viable pick. No, not at all. I mean, he was a bit clumsy, but because we did not really practice steadily during our practice. And also, I mean, we got to pick Nidalee out of nowhere, so I was a little bit afraid or concerned. But anyway, you guys managed to get that win thanks to Kana performing perfectly. Well, Game 3 was not really easy, but DRX Baron Try actually opened T1 the space to turn the game around. So we weren't really aware of this Baron Try, but as soon as they started the Baron, we just grouped up. You guys like got so many kills over here. So were you guys focusing on the Baron, or were you guys focusing on taking down the players? We didn't really like make calls about that. Just we were just focusing on the fight itself. So after that, T1 also got another consecutive teamfight wins and managed to destroy the nexus. The game was not that long, but the game was so close. So once again, congratulations on the win. And this is your fourth POG, so what's your goal for the split? This is my first game that I really showed up myself, so I want to keep showing my great performance in my upcoming series. And Faker, we had a big news, right? You became the owner, or maybe the part owner of T1. So, like some people are saying you are the CEO of T1. So can you be more specific about the news? So to put it simple, I will be keep performing in T1 for a long period of time. And well, me performing as a player, I will focus on being the player, you know, performing on stage. So I just hope my fans to look me as the player Faker as they used to and support me. So this will be the end of the interview, taking down DRX today, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, for your interview translation, as always. And what a day one to start this one off. I'm feeling a little bit confused, a little bit rattled after what felt like a throw, but
that was
maybe more than that. I don't know. It was a very strange end to that game. However, we've still got all of week 3 to come after this, and T1 have leapfrogged DragonX. In fact, they're both tied. So it's not a leapfrog, it is just even. Between these two squads, which is very exciting. The win spree continues for T1 as well, 3 in a row, after only falling to Hanwha in their second match. The first one seemed like a difficult one for T1 as well, but they were able to get over the line there against Damwon. Gen.G now out in front, ahead of everyone. And let's see whether DRX is going to be able to change that as we move further on in the week, because that's when things get real spicy.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We're gonna take a look at the next matchup, and so this is tomorrow, 5 p.m. KST as usual. Griffin taking on Damwon, and then to round out the night, the battle of 9 versus 10.
Yeah.
KT versus APK.
There are some nicknames for that matchup that we're not going to mention on this broadcast, but it is certainly bottom of the table. And in fact, both of the teams, 0 and 4, one of them needs to get a win. I think Smart Money's probably on KT. They certainly have more veteran status, but who knows? They've been throwing away games.
I think I would give the edge to APK.
Well, let's see whether APK can actually do it, but that is going to be the second match. Damwon versus Griffin, going to be a very exciting one to start off the day as well. But as for today, that is going to do it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for even more LCK Spring 2020. And I think I almost nailed the timing. There we go. Good night.
And I am ready to take it on. You told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, you're all that I need. If I was ever in the dark